Hello, movie lovers! Welcome back to Apocaflix Movies. I'm your host, Jacob Bartley, and this is our weekly movie news podcast. I'm joined again by Giorgio Ramos, and he will be the only one joining me today. What's going on, man?
What's up, guys? Here to talk movies. Let's get it going. Yeah.
Of course, not with us today is Jake Berlin. He's got a busy summer. He's coaching 3 baseball teams, so shout out to Jake Berlin. Wow. He's working hard and doing it big, and we're going to hold down the fort for him. So
make us proud.
Hopefully you can get back to us soon, man. Anyways, for those of you who have never listened to our podcast, which is most people out there, we just pick the biggest movie news stories, the most interesting ones that we want to talk about throughout the week, and we talk about them on Friday after most of the good ones have came out. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. Gio, what do we have first?
This one is pretty big. Let's talk about All Eyes on Me, the Tupac biopic. Right? It's about time we got one.
I know, right?
It's the first teaser trailer came out on the late rapper's 45th birthday. It's directed by Benny Boom, who is best known, at least to me, for directing 50 Cent's Just a Little Bit. Remember that song?
Well, I knew he was a music video director. That's just the only thing I knew him as. He was a pretty big music video director.
Yeah, but now he's given the Tupac biopic, starring Demetrius Shipp Jr., who looks exactly like Tupac. Like, I'm sure you saw the teaser. That guy looks spot on like Tupac. And also interesting is the guy who played Notorious Big in the biopic, Jamal Woolard.
Yes,
he's coming back. So that's pretty interesting.
That's exciting.
What did you think of the first teaser?
All right. I'm really looking forward to this movie. I'm a huge fan of hip-hop and rap, and Tupac is in my top 5 rappers of all time. Mm-hmm. But I did not really like this teaser trailer. And I'll tell you, I liked the opening of it. I don't know who's playing his mom in the movie, but her little dialogue over the trailer was really good. I was like, oh, this is awesome. And then other than that, it was very underwhelming. The only time we saw the actor playing Tupac, he's like turning his head to the side. And I know Tupac did that a lot. All you're going to show us, I know it's a teaser, but this did not get me excited to see the movie. Mm-hmm. I'm very excited to see it, a trailer, but the teaser really did nothing for me.
Yeah, I thought it was just alright. I mean, you have the music, you have the guy who looks like Tupac, so you have A and B. Now C is the story. What are you going to tell about Tupac? Because there's a lot you can tell, you know. You can go to his personal life, you can go to, you know, him as an activist, him as a rapper, you know, just a whole bunch of stuff. He was more than just a rapper.
Oh, much more.
Yeah,
He was. I was talking to a friend earlier today. He's an activist. He was on a path to becoming a modern day Martin Luther King or Malcolm X.
Yeah.
And I believe, and unfortunately his life was ended too shortly. And I think the movie looks like it's gonna hopefully touch on more than just his music side. He was an actor. He was actually a really good actor. Mm-hmm. I don't know if any of you have seen Poetic Justice.
Poetic Justice.
He was in a lot of movies, and he was really good in my opinion.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate because I think he would have went on to become a really good actor in Hollywood if he would have lived.
I think he was approached to play Mace Windu in Star Wars.
Was he?
I think so. Or George Lucas had him in mind.
That would have been so awesome.
Man.
How awesome would that have been?
Man, telling Anakin thug life, you know? No. But, I mean, yeah, I share your concerns. And then the director, I mean, granted, you know, everybody deserves a chance to have their big break. But for a Tupac biopic that at one point had John Singleton, who directed Poetic Justice.
Wasn't Anton Fuqua attached as well, who was friends with Tupac?
Yeah.
But who knows? We can't judge it. We got to give this guy a chance. We have to see the movie first.
Yeah, but my confidence is, we'll see. Hopefully we're proven
Did you
wrong.
like the trailer?
I thought it was all right.
Yeah.
I thought it was all right. You know, you had the music, you had the actor. We'll see. It's just a teaser. You know?
Oh, I see why Jake didn't want to get on the podcast today, because he doesn't like rap.
Oh, man. Is that true,
That's
Jake?
why, Jake.
Is that true?
I got you.
What about the Deadpool rap, man? Anyways, let's talk about Spider-Man Homecoming. They added a few supporting actors to the movie in unknown roles. You have Donald Glover, who's the most interesting one out of the bunch. And then you have Logan Marshall Green and Martin Starr, who's in Silicon Valley. He's the guy with the glasses, Guilfoyle.
It's not all he's in.
Well, I mean,
that he's been in, but yeah, that's what he's most known for recently.
He's also the guy in Incredible Hulk. Remember when Edward Norton gives pizza to the guy and
It's Martin Starr?
That's that guy.
Really?
Like, what?
Oh,
yeah.
Wow.
What did you think about this casting?
Yeah, I talked about the Donald Glover casting on my Comic Hero Talk podcast because I recorded it the day after the news broke, and I like it. A lot of people are like, "Oh, he's playing Miles Morales. He's playing Miles Morales." I don't think so. First of all, and I know the movies don't have to stick true to the comics, but Miles Morales was always younger than Peter Parker, and Peter Parker was his mentor whenever they crossed paths. And also, just because a black guy got cast in a movie doesn't mean he's automatically that black character. I don't think we're going to see Miles Morales in the MCU or the Spider-Man world in live action anytime soon. So I just think he's another character, like someone working at Oscorp, maybe a teacher at a school. Mm-hmm. Because Donald Glover is like almost 30. He's like 10 years older than Tom Holland.
32.
So I don't think he's going to be playing any Spider-Man type character. It's really cool though because he wanted to play Spider-Man when they were casting for the Amazing Spider-Man, which went to Andrew Garfield. He was campaigning for it, and a lot of fans wanted him to play Spider-Man. But it's really cool for him to just get in the Spider-Man world somehow. I guarantee he's a big fan if he was so, wanting to play the role so bad. So I like that casting. So I was thinking about this, and Martin Starr, the first thing I've ever seen him in, he was a kid in Freaks and Geeks.
Wow.
And you know who else was in Freaks and Geeks? Is the writer of the film, John Francis Daley.
Really?
They were the two kids, the best friends in Freaks and Geeks. So I'm guessing that John Francis Daley hooked Martin Starr up with this gig.
I want you a part in
not that he couldn't have got the gig on his own, but it's just like a buddy, like, hey man, you want to come work with me on this? And John Francis Daley, him and his writing partner, they wrote the Vacation reboot, and then their next project was this, and they were up to direct this, but they gave it to John Watts, the director of Cop Car, which I still haven't seen, which I'm interested to see because why did Marvel choose him to direct Spider-Man, which is weird. I'm not familiar with the other actor, Logan Marshall Green. I've never seen any of his work, so yeah, I'm cool with this. It's not much. It's just supporting cast. They're just filling out the supporting cast, and it's a really cool, diverse supporting cast.
Yeah, I mean, in my opinion, I think they're casting the high school faculty. I mean, how could Martin Starr and Donald Glover play teachers?
That's what I think.
Yeah,
That's what I think.
It's anything else.
And I think this high school is going to be a lot of the setting.
Oh yeah, it's going to be a big part, like Kevin Feige said. So I mean, it's pretty cool. I mean, there's nothing more to add. You pretty much touched on everything. How about the Suicide Squad? So David Ayer came out and said that Jared Leto's the Joker that he's portraying, the tattoos, they tell a story and reveal some of the character's history in this universe. So I know you've seen, it's like the first photo of the Joker that came out of him with all the tattoos.
Yeah.
You have the ha ha ha, you have the Robin tattoo, you have Damaged, you have his grills, teeth. What do you think this all means, like, for you?
So I'm not a big fan of the tattoos, just in general. But this makes me feel a little bit better about them because I'm glad they're not just meaningless. I'm hoping that whatever they mean is something significant and it, makes the character better. So I like it.
Yeah, same here. Like, I mean, somebody brought this up, and I thought it was interesting that the tattoos, they symbolize that this Joker was a person before he became the Joker, which I think it's pretty interesting to look at it from that point of view. And I mean, if you look at these tattoos, where's the Robin one? I think it's on his right arm. I think that symbolizes that he killed Robin.
That he once was Robin.
Or once was Robin.
Because there's a lot of hints pointing towards maybe that's Jason Todd. I don't think it's Dick Grayson. I think it could possibly be Jason Todd. And if you've seen Under the Red Hood, the animated movie, he has a lot of hatred towards Bruce Wayne and a lot of hurt and anger towards Bruce Wayne, and I would make total sense. And they can literally do whatever they want with the Joker character. It's an adaptation of the character, and he doesn't have a set origin, so they can do whatever they want. And I'm excited to see Suicide Squad. I hope we don't get his full story in Suicide Squad, but I hope we get something to where we can be like, oh, this is who this Joker is.
Kind of like, well, I was going to say, not really a good example, but kind of like a Nightcrawler in X-Men 2, you know, where he's there. I mean, it's a difference.
Well, I don't want to learn everything about him in the first movie that we see him in, but I want to learn enough to like be comfortable with the character.
Do you think Batman punched out his teeth?
Yes.
Yeah, I hope they show that. That'd be pretty cool. Let's talk about Beverly Hills Cop 4. Have you seen any of the previous movies?
When I was a kid, I used to watch them on cable every now and then, but I've never sat down and watched one from beginning to end. A couple weeks ago, I went over to my uncle's house, and he had just started Beverly Hills Cop 2. And I kind of watched most of it, and I just love the style of filmmaking, and the music is awesome. And just, you can tell it was Eddie Murphy in his prime, and I love that. I don't know how a new version of it's going to work, but I did a little bit of research on these directors, and apparently they really love the original movies, and I guess they mean a lot to them as filmmakers. So if they have that type of love for those films, then I'm all in for them directing it. And I'm really curious to see what a modern day version of Beverly Hills Cop is going to be. Yeah,
so the story is that they found producer Jerry Bruckheimer and Eddie Murphy, they found a pair of young indie directors named, let's see if I can get this right, Adil El Arabi and Bilal Fallah. They're Belgium directors, best known for a crime drama indie called Black. The two impressed Bruckheimer and Murphy so much that they were immediately brought on. Now, a lot of people aren't really asking for a Beverly Hills Cop 4, but I've been waiting to see more Eddie Murphy in Hollywood. I don't know. I feel like they need him, you know. I mean, right now, you think about black comedians / you know, kind of action, you know, stars. You had Chris Tucker, Kevin Hart. I mean, he's doing
his own version of that, but all his movies have been bad to decent. So there hasn't been a Kevin Hart movie where you're like, damn, that was really good.
Yeah.
Central Intelligence, we just saw it. I would say it's the best of his most recent movies in the past couple of years, but it's still not.
I still like The Wedding Ringer. That was a good one.
I think I like The Wedding Ringer a little bit more than Central Intelligence, but it's not an action movie though.
Yeah. So anyways, what I'm saying is that Hollywood needs Eddie Murphy. They need this guy back. His style of comedy, his R-rated comedy, that guy's hilarious. So bring him back. I'm excited. This Beverly Hills Cop 4 is one step being made.
Well, do you think that Eddie Murphy's career can never be the same as it was, but it can adapt to today? Because I know a lot of people... He was nominated for an Oscar for... What's the movie? Is it Dreamgirls? He was nominated for an Oscar for that, and he's playing Richard Pryor's dad in the Richard Pryor biopic. So maybe he kind of moves into more doing dramatic roles. Would you be fine with that?
Oh yeah. As long as he's back. I mean, this guy is talented.
And
you know?
The Beverly Hills Cop movies aren't all comedy. There's a lot of serious elements to them, especially when I watched the second one a couple weeks ago.
And it's great that it's taking place in Detroit. You know.
Oh, definitely. That, you know, yeah, where he's from.
Going back home. Yeah. So let's talk about the Conjuring spinoff, The Nun. They're making a spinoff based on the character's. What do you think about this? It's hard for me. I haven't seen The Conjuring 2 yet.
Well, so. I did see The Conjuring 2, and The Nun is the scariest part of The Conjuring 2, so it makes sense. I think there's another character that they were hoping would resonate with audiences and become the spin-off like Annabelle did, but I think The Nun surprised people, and The Nun ended up being the character that everyone was scared of. The best and most scariest scene in the movie has to do with the nun. And I'm not going to give spoilers away, but yeah, it creeped me the hell out. So it makes sense. And it's unfortunate because I feel like, just like Annabelle, I hate using this term, but it's a cash grab in a way. Just make it a good movie.
Oh, they're milking the shit out
Make
of
it...
this.
The Conjuring... The first Conjuring, in my opinion, is a masterpiece. The second one is a really good movie. Nowhere near as good as the first one, but it's a really good horror movie. So I'm okay with that. But don't just make it to get money and get audiences in the seats. Try to make a good movie, too.
Yeah. Like I said, I've yet to see The Conjuring 2. Give me a break, guys. You know how many movies came out in the last 2 weeks? Not really a good idea. I don't know, man. I mean, I haven't seen Annabelle. I've heard all the bad things about it, the mixed reviews about it.
It's not fully horrible, but it's not good.
Right. It's just, it doesn't help the franchise in any way. And again, until I see this, I don't know, but can they make a movie based off The Nun? And as someone who's seen the movie, or did the movie kind of like shut that door and it's like, why are you opening it? Why are you opening it again? Is the nun an interesting character, the where she could be the main focal point?
Actually, now that you bring it up, the way they introduce the nun, the way she comes about, and the way the movie leaves with her, there's not much more to tell. But of course, they can make up whatever story they want. They could make up this is a nun from the 1800s who was brutally murdered with her family. They can make any story they want
Right.
up. That's not the story. That they don't even touch on who the nun is in the movie. So they can literally make up any story they want. So they kind of have a clean slate with her.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, it'll be interesting to see. Hopefully, they get a good director. I don't think James Wan will be directing, so he'll be busy with Aquaman.
No, I don't think James Wan is going to direct any more horror for a while.
Yeah, I think the Conjuring
he said he wants to do different genres.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so cool. Sicario 3. So, look, we don't even have a second Sicario yet, but they're already developing a third movie. Director Stefano Salima. Sorry, I'm bad with names. Anyways, the director of Sicario 2 talked about how the studio's developing a third one, and how they'll be like standalone movies, but like exist within the same universe, a la 10 Cloverfield Lane, kind of,
Yeah.
Loose tie-ins. What do you think about? I mean, they sound pretty confident in a Sicario franchise, I guess. What it's looking like.
All right, so,
and just to give some backstory, the second one's gonna have focus on Josh Brolin and Benicio del Toro's character. Emily Blunt will not be returning. This will be standalone movies.
how is it a standalone movie if it has the same characters in it? I don't understand that.
I don't know.
See, I don't like the sound of this.
Comments,
They're trying to, talk their way around it. I feel like, look, I didn't love Sicario like most people did. It's a good movie, but I wasn't over the moon about it
it's a good, slow burner.
like most people were. It was all right. It was good to me.
And you would say the highlight is Benicio del Toro's character. That makes sense to continue his story and see.
Yeah, but it wasn't enough to where I'm like, oh, I gotta see that character again. I think the way that movie ended was perfect. You don't have to continue that. But if they want to tell another story involving those two characters, honestly, my favorite part of that movie was Josh Brolin. I'm not gonna lie. I really liked his character. So I'm glad he's coming back. Look, I really like Emily Blunt, but she was my least favorite of the three leads. Not her performance, but her character. She was unnecessary in a way. Right. So I guess they're bringing the two best parts of the movie back, sure, but I don't... Why do you have to say, oh, it's a standalone movie? Yeah, it has the two leads from the first movie in it, and they're working on a third one? It doesn't make any sense.
They also said that it's going to be more action in the second.
Oh, I'm cool with that because there wasn't much action in the first one.
The
but
action that we did see
was
Benicio
awesome.
del Toro's character, man, dude, that guy you don't fuck with that guy. But yeah, I mean, I buy into it. Sure, they gave me no reason why they shouldn't do another one with those two characters. I think we'd both. I mean, if I had to choose between an Annabelle and Nun spinoff or a Josh Brolin and Benicio del Toro spinoff, I would go with the Josh Brolin and Benicio
You mean
del Toro.
the Collector and Thanos
The
spinoff?
Collector and Thanos. Yeah, there you go. So these guys are already developing good chemistry, so they're gonna rock it. So yeah, Indiana Jones 5. Steven Spielberg says, spoiler, he will not kill off Harrison Ford's Indiana Jones. Were you expecting Indiana Jones to have like a heroic death for his final one? Harrison Ford, at least. But what do you think they'll do with the character next? What's your reaction to this news from Steven Spielberg?
All right. Is it messed up to say that I don't care that much? Because of Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. Look, I grew up watching the first 3 indie movies, and I loved them as a kid, and I haven't watched them recently, but I recognize their importance to Hollywood history and that they're great films. Yeah. And I did not like the Crystal Skull, and I'm not sure if I want Spielberg and Harrison Ford doing another one. I kind of wish they would leave it alone. But that being said, I don't think they need to kill him if they are going to make this movie. I feel like it would be like too similar to The Force Awakens, where it's saying bye to another Harrison Ford's iconic characters. So yeah, when the movie comes out, I'm going to be in theaters seeing it. But as of right now, I don't really care. Just, work on the movie. Don't talk about it. Just work on it. Put out a cool teaser trailer. Get me excited then. I don't need to hear anything about the story or anything right now.
Yeah, we have a ways off until Indy 5, 2019 summer. That's a long time, dude. I'm going to be 29 years old by that time.
Jeez.
Look, give us another Indiana Jones, but do it so that this franchise can end properly. You cannot... I don't think... They can't end this Spielberg, Harrison Ford run on Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
I agree with that.
Which is a movie, I
agree with that.
I think it's a watchable movie. I don't hate it as much as other people do, but again, that's just me. I tend to like stuff that people don't like. But I mean, it makes sense. And they said they're going to treat Indy like James Bond, where other people portray him. It'll be hard for fans to accept. I mean,
Well, I honestly think that Harrison Ford is a more daunting task for an actor to take on, and we're getting that with Alden Ehrenreich. So why not do it with Indy? They're going to do it.
Yeah. So before we end this, let's do some rapid fire stuff that released today. I didn't have time to write in the notes. I'm just gonna say it and you react. James Gunn is unsure about Guardians of the Galaxy 3. He said Volume 2 was exhausting. Do you want to see him back for 3? Or does it depend?
I love James Gunn. I think he's an awesome dude, and I love the first Guardians of the Galaxy. It's one of my favorite comic book movies ever made. But I think 2 big franchise movies in a row is very exhausting. Ask Joss Whedon. I don't mind if he takes a break, and especially if his heart is not fully in it, take a break, take a breather, let someone else direct Guardians of the Galaxy 3 if they need to get it out right away, and maybe come back and direct a different Marvel movie, or direct an Avengers 6 that maybe it goes more cosmic maybe it goes into space, maybe it's Secret Wars. Direct that. You don't have to come back for the 3rd one.
Yeah, I mean, history has shown people tend to burn out by the 3rd one.
Sam Raimi,
Christopher
Nolan.
I would have said Bryan Singer, but he didn't direct The Last Stand.
That's
not him. Yeah, so I mean, we'll see. It's much, like you said, it's much easier for people, like for projects with 2 directors.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. Especially these bigger ensemble casts and everything.
Yeah, and Finding Dory makes $9 million just on this Thursday. What do you think?
That's awesome.
Over $100 million?
I think it's the best in animated movies ever done. I'm pretty sure. And yeah, it's gonna kill this weekend. I know. I'm not gonna see it till about Tuesday. I'm gonna take my little sister to go see it, but it's gonna kill this weekend for sure.
Yeah, that about does it, buddy.
All right, well, that's going to wrap up Apocaflix movie news for this week. I want to thank Gio for gathering the movie notes and running them through today. Gio, where can they find you online?
You can find me on Twitter at GioRamos24 and ApocaflixMovies.com. Be sure to check us out. We're going to be pumping out some more articles in the next coming weeks, so yeah.
And you can find me, Jacob Bartley, on Twitter at JacobBartley_, on Instagram at Jacob Ryan Bartley, and on this Apocaflix Movies YouTube channel. Please subscribe. We really appreciate it. If you are subscribed, even if you're not, hit that like button. And please shoot us a comment in the comment section. Let us know what you thought about any of the topics that we discussed today. We really like hearing everyone's thoughts, and I will try to get back at you. Till next time, you all take care.